online. My name is Valentina De Vico, and I am your chair for the day, for the second day of the conference, the Skillman International Forum, that we have started yesterday with the first day, with a lot of different partners and other guests who presented throughout the day, and we had a very interesting and inspiring conversations and discussions about different topics. We also had the privilege of having the Lady Mayor of Liverpool and the other representatives of the culture department who delivered the speech and were part and involved in the round of discussions. We talked about DQF, Digital Qualification Framework, the importance of micro-credentials, sustainability and inclusion, and also we mentioned international mobilities. Today is day two. Day two is dedicated to regeneration, innovation, and the development of the future of vocational education and training in the world. So today we're going to talk about other countries other than Europe. So before starting, I would like to have also some comments from Urs and Giovanni about the impressions they got from yesterday's session, from yesterday. Just to start off the day with their comments as well, and their impressions, the key messages, the takeaways they got from yesterday, and the feedback from the audience. Please.
Yes. Hello. Yeah. I was very passionate yesterday evening because many people called me about the sessions yesterday, and the situation was that we had very high quality presentations, and we were very astonished about having this. And as well in the panels, we had 2 panels. The panels went extremely well, and we could as well include questions from the audience, and we had so good quality experts from different nations. For instance, when I explain this micro-credential evaluation and the digital badges, we had the voices from Germany, we had the voices from Italy, we had the voices from UK, we had the voices from different nations outer Europe. So we had experiences from America, Canada. So it was really great, and yeah, I was very passionate about this, and I can say the good thing this morning, a participant showed me the live stream, who is still active from yesterday, and you still can visit the live stream which we disseminated in the internet and look through the presentations of yesterday, and I know that many people want to do that because they couldn't do it organizational wise, but they are interested to do it for this situation. And therefore I think we had less participants yesterday, we have less participants today here, but we have many participants online who are discussing and bringing questions in and exchanges. So I think it was a very positive solution. Giovanni, can I give the micro to you as well?
Valentina, it was not expected. This is a surprise question. Thank you very much for asking. I'm very comfortable with what we did yesterday together, because I received several feedbacks on LinkedIn and via email also from friends from Portugal. I know Maria did very good remarks, Maria Manuel Ribeiro, our partner from the municipality of Lisbon, but many other colleagues that are connected now, even now. So thank you very much to all of you for the good remarks. And my feeling was positive also because I think that we have done a drive in logical drive, which is connecting all our small steps in which every time we add another brick, like the brick of the dome in Florence, and these bricks all together composes the evidence of our efforts to promote a fair society through education, to envisage a future society in which people count for their competencies, for their skills. So this picture, I think that is becoming every time more and more clear to the Skillman community. And these kind of events in which we meet each other and we discuss by every different point of view what we do during our normal life, during our normal efforts in our jobs in education, I think that gives make people to feel like me more confident in what we do. So my feeling is positive, and I think that even yesterday, but I'm curious for today, even yesterday I acquired new information, new knowledge, new friendship, and I'm thankful for all this to the community.
Thank you, Giovanni. I have to add up to this that we also immersed in the culture of Liverpool. We have learned so much, and we also know that today is Guy Fawkes Day. So it's something that we have learned this is yesterday. So yeah, that's really interesting from my side as well. And so today we are having the morning session with some more keynote speeches. We will have a round table also with some of the guests that are here today. And the afternoon session today will be a study visit. The study visit, we will be visiting the simulation lab at Liverpool Hope University. So for those who are here, we'll participate to the study visit in the afternoon. I will start now introducing our first speaker. We had to move things a little bit around in the schedule of the morning. So the first speaker today is Mr. Peter Genito. He's going to speak about digital transformation, the impact of AI on VET, and regional economic development. If you want to join me, Peter, I will give you the floor. Thank you.
Thanks a lot to Valentina as a chairwoman this morning, and I'm very glad and really it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you in this important conference in Liverpool City. I am having strong impressions yesterday, the day last yesterday, and I'm so sorry for my poor English, okay? And I come from Florence in Italy, where I work as a librarian, so like Dante should say, I'm ultimo in cotanto senno. Quindi my poor English is to try to give you my experience in my field, and I'm not a CEO, I'm not a manager, you know. I'm this context and a Skillman community host me as a librarian, no? And so I am so happy to be invited from Giovanni, who knows me. I work in the municipality of Florence since I have a long career, and my background is a humanistic background, you know. I'm not from Tuscany, I come from northern Italy. I was born in Novara, which is a little city in Piedmont, and I've been graduated in Turin. Then I worked as a librarian in Turin and Milan. Then I am in Tuscany, in a beautiful Tuscany. And this beautiful city as well. Liverpool is a very warm city to me. It is giving me very strong impression, strong because it's a city full of culture, like my life is full of culture. And so I'm very enjoying it to stay here for the second day. I have prepared some slides you can read, but I want to say to you the little introduction. I can read to you because I'm so excited, and I don't want to to make errors. The advent of artificial intelligence in our field, my field is VET as well, vocational educational training. As a librarian, I'm an educator as well with my users. When they come to me and ask me, Peter, suggest me a romance or a novel, I'm very embarrassed because I have to give people and users knowledge, not only books. And we are challenge a new landscape, new cognitive landscapes nowadays. And when a user, when a student comes to me and say, Peter, give me a novel, I don't have answers. So I am a little bit embarrassed, but I have to give, I have to manage knowledge. So this is my work, and my work as a librarian is deeply changing. And this speech is about this. So we are involved in the fourth revolution, how Luciano Floridi calls it. I really think this, we are in a revolution now, the fourth. For those who are working like me, like teachers, like educators in the educational field, AI is completing this transition, this digital transition to a future green, and more digital. In which way? Listen to me. We have these challenges you can read. We analyzed that in the context, in Adriatic Ionian context last July in Ancona, but I don't want to talk about this today. I want to talk about this cognitive transformation. You can read. Since I think 20 or 30 years, we are involved in a changing. We are not more in a cognitive model today, but we have, as humans, we are connected, only connected. And this is a problem to me. This is a problem in my way to live and to feel my job. This ongoing transformation is not just about manage information. My work as a librarian is to manage information and to manage knowledge, not only to give books to people, okay? But this is not only like this. We are in this new cognitive model, in a cognitive model as one. Derek Dekerkove said we are in a collective mind, but he said this 30 years ago, not now, not nowadays. We are in a lab, in a big lab with our minds. So this is the set, the data set we are saying today. We say data set, we say dataism, and so on. But not only data are important, but humans are important. So everything is changing. We have to face this challenge. What is hybrid intelligence? Is like you say, like you can read. This is the answer, in my opinion. Human judgment integrated with computing big power. We are talking about big data. Sorry for my bad pronunciation, but I'm not used to be this. I'm a little bit. I have to be quiet with my English with you here in Liverpool. So we have technical skills, but we have involved in this. We have to understand algorithm. What is an algorithm? I don't know. But I feel it can manipulate my life. My life as a prosumer, you know, we are all prosumers, not only persons. I don't want to be suspicious. I don't want to demonize this new environment, but we have to be careful with it. So my traditional technical skills are not enough today. I have to be in this new literacy. We are moving from what 20 years ago we librarians called it semantic web literacy. Now we are moving to a AI critical literacy. I have to teach it to my users, not only the web now, not only to a semantic web. It is not enough today. So the literacy of my work is changing, and I have to explain to you with this model. And the model is this. I take from a philosopher, and this is based on the complexity. I propose a new methodological framework based on the 3 phases. The first is think phase, the second is to do phase, and the third is rethink. The first phase is a critical analysis and philosophical foundation. This reflection goes behind the problem identification to address fundamental epistemological questions. I have to be quite a philosopher as a librarian. I have to be a philosopher librarian and an artist librarian as well for my community. There is no librarians without communities. I'm a public librarian. I don't work in. I worked in the University of Milan 7 years ago, but now I'm a public librarian. So I am not. I have no job without my community in Florence. No? I manage reading groups now, and I understanding a lot of needs from people. So the first phase is like this. How is professional identity transformed with the automation? When my skills as a librarian are automated by ChatGPT, for example, when you can be a reference librarian. No more, because the reference is given by ChatGPT. A user asks to the ChatGPT, and it gives answers. So, which is my new identity as a librarian? What ethical frameworks guide the integration of AI without demonize it, without into educational new framework and within new educational framework and settings. In this way, the do phase, the second. So we need a participatory implementation. In which way? We have to invent every day new approaches with people. Concrete intervention include, for example, these reading groups. They are groups of 5, 6 persons, not massive, but each people, each student who wants to participate in this group wants to change his life and to understand and to manage knowledge in a different way. Reading a book, reading a novel, reading a magazine. We can discuss of everything in my work today. I feel I'm showing you like I feel my work as a librarian in a new environment. And so the second phase is the do phase. I can manage laboratories of critical thinking skills. We have to deconstruct algorithms and the logic behind algorithms. I don't know exactly what an algorithm is. No, I want to give this my doubts to people and to users, so I can create community knowledge networks, little networks, but important, so important. Then we come to the third phase, the rethink phase. It's very, very important because it's the final phase. It is about a continuous adaptation, and not where transformation is not. I want to say this word in Spanish. We have destino, the goal. In Spanish, no language, we have destino. When you go to train station, destino. Destinazione, we say in Italian. It's not a goal, but an ongoing process. Ongoing. This requires very important things. Buildings, institutional capacity with policymakers, with the other stakeholders of the libraries. And I talk to them. The stakeholders are very different, not only the citizens, not only the administrators of the city, and the stakeholders are a lot. And I have to talk with them every day. We have what theorists of organization call it double loop learning. This is the rethinking phase, the double loop learning. And this framework, I'm trying to describe to you, this framework operates on 4 levels, from an individual level to an institutional level, then to a regional level. We heard yesterday the measure and the city, the large city, no, here in Liverpool. I don't think there is an equivalent in Italy, provincia, I don't know. But area metropolitana can be said in Italian. And it was very impressive to me because we have to listen to them as stakeholders of our job, as a trainer, as a librarian, as a vet worker. And the 4th level is systemic. What you was saying, Urs, no? Everything is connected all over the world. Systemic. I call it a system. Addressing the global trends while maintaining local autonomy. Global, in this sense. Global and local. Global. So we are in this new environment. I was saying that the literacy is changing to a critical AI literacy. And this includes technical knowledge, but not only technical knowledge, but it extends to ethical awareness. Ethics is nowadays the most important thing, ethics. Because without ethic approach, this new environment can has to be controlled, but not controlled by politics. Control with an ethical approach, and this is very hard to understand and to practice. This requires, in effect, a rethinking of professional identity. I have to rethink myself as a librarian deeply, deeply, because there are no books, there is Amazon. So, what can say a librarian in 2025? I have to rethink deeply my identity. I propose, concluding, the philosopher-artist-librarian framework. I feel myself every day with my users as a philosopher and as an artist with my community. To shape, I have big power, and I have to control this power with people, like a good father. It is not enough. In this framework, me as a philosopher and an artist, librarian, professional, me as a professionist, I have to simultaneously think philosophically. It's very important. My background, I have philosophical exams at university. But no, it is not enough. Again, I have to create artistically, not to create a sculpture, okay? How I create? I address the collection development in my library, for example, with achieving new books to orient the collection. Not only books, but only database and so on, because we have hybrid collections nowadays. I pay the editors for the access to the data. So my work is complex, and to mediate culturally. Continuously, I have to mediate with the users, with the stakeholders, and so on. This new definition challenges credentialing systems that prioritize technical expertise over philosophical depth or creative ability. And this is what I call new literacy. You can see this moving, no? From a semantic web. We were talking about semantic web, but in the first 20 years, in the late 19s. Now it's finished. There is no semantic web possibility. We have to teach literacy about AI. Try to understand what algorithmic systems are, and an ethical approach. Okay? Everything is clear. So I'm trying to. So I lead social reading groups in Florence. I lead, but not I lead. They are democratic. People come to me and they say, Peter, what book can you suggest for the next month? I don't suggest a book. We have to choose together. They are democratic groups. And so we discuss on a novel, or I don't know, the mystery, a romance, but through this we are talking about knowledge. We change with knowledge. The challenge is not whether to integrate, so I conclude like this. The big challenge in my job is not to integrate artificial intelligence in my job, but because this transformation is already underway every day, since absolutely no. But how to do so in ways that preserve human autonomy? We have to preserve a human approach, not to destroy it. And this is, in my opinion, this is the risk in a post-human environment. So this is the risk. So we have to preserve human approach. Harness cultural diversity as a strength. The proposed framework, this me as a philosopher and artist as a librarian, this framework with new framework offers a conceptual guide for this journey. It is a journey, like I feel it. But successful implementation requires ongoing commitment, experimentation, every day. Projects like this lab I want to share in Skillman community with you, and the willingness to rethink fundamental assumptions about the purpose of education in an algorithmically mediated world. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
It's a very well received reflection on algorithms.
Do we have time for questions?
Yes, please. I will give you the microphone. Yes.
Thanks so much.
Really grateful to you, Peter, for raising those philosophical issues. Just want to push back slightly. One of the things that I say to my students, one of my mantras, is if you're not willing to be augmented, you will be substituted. If you're not willing to be augmented, you will be substituted. What I mean by that is, as you said as you were closing, we're on a journey. This journey that we're of discovery is incredibly rapid at the moment. We've seen the world shift in 3 years, essentially. And we're only just beginning to understand the difference between what large language models can do and what agentic AI can do. And in terms of your study circles and your collaborative learning environments, one of the things that I wonder if we might be experimenting with in order actually to preserve a human focus in our educational environments is bringing the agentic AI into those learning circles, so that we are not simply collaborating together as human beings, but we are collaborating together with the agentic AI systems. We have at our Hope University one of the few people at Hope University who is genuinely a world-class expert, Professor David in the Computer Sciences Department. And one of the things that he's been pointing us to is that we're probably now at the 4th phase of the development of agentic AI. The first phase, we were essentially, this is not the right language, but essentially coding it, training it. The second phase, we were asking the models to help us to train the models better. The third phase, we were asking the models to go away and think new ways of doing things. The fourth phase, we have no idea what they're doing. And in a sense, this is after 3 years. This journey is going to be very rapid, and the thing that I wanted to just push back on is the question of an ethical understanding. Because we are yet to find out whether the agentic AI systems can actually embrace an ethics. And that is a real challenge to us, philosophically, and it's a challenge to us in terms of understanding what is our human identity. And so one of the things that I would be suggesting to you is in creating these learning circles that we engage the agentic AI systems within them.
We have to integrate, absolutely. This is a complex question. Thank you, Professor. I don't have answers. I can see everything is changing, and our language is saturated now. I think like I was saying above, I'm not frightened from this journey. Okay, I'm not frightened psychologically, but we have to face. So we better guide this changing. The risk is to be substituted. So I can say with in a Latin mode, fata, the destiny, fata, nolentes ducunt, volentes traunt. Okay, can I answer like this? This is a journey, okay, and we have big risks, but it is important to live it, and this circle you were saying is very important, and I don't know where this journey will lead me, but I have to be, and I'm proud to be in this journey. Thank you for your complex question.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. So this was the first speech of today, and yeah, I would suggest to move on to our next speaker because I saw him arriving. We're very glad to have you here, Mr. Dr. Hirpo Kumbi. He's representing the Ethiopian higher education and VET, and he will share insights with us today on international collaboration and development on higher and vocational education. We're very glad to have you here, sir, and the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great. Okay. My name is Hirpo. I'm originally from Ethiopia. I lived in the United Kingdom for the past 2 decades only. My speaker is not working, that's why. Second time, good morning.
Good morning.
Now it's working. Excellent. So, I just wanted to come from my experience in living here in United Kingdom in general, in Europe, and also working with Ethiopian origin and as African as well. My background is just a brief presentation, only very brief. My background is experience in working with the diaspora community in Europe in general, particularly in the United Kingdom, Leeds area, Manchester, London, and also including the north part of England. My academic research and the writings are from United Kingdom itself, Ethiopia, where I'm from, and Kenya and Nigeria. So all I will be bringing is from my own experience plus my academic research. So in Africa, the traditional higher education focus has proved inadequate for meeting developmental agendas. This is in general from my research, in particularly observing, traveling to Ethiopia 3-4 times a year. This is what I've seen myself. Issues of employment and employability are a legacy of higher education. VET is becoming a solution for job creation, actually wealth creation, as well as industry needs for skilled workers. This is something we are all familiar with. One good example to bring is in Africa, people just receive a qualification in higher education, however, they work in completely different environment. So their qualification is doing nothing for their work environment. Diaspora in Europe, the need for skills cannot be overemphasized when I say this. Many of my students I've worked with, stress the skills severely lacking in the demand. I will tell you one example. We have one course for level 7 on strategic management. Those are 11 students. Out of 11 students, 10 of them doing their own business and also doing the qualification at vocational level because they need a vocational training to engage with the business they are doing. Have they got traditional degree in the past? Yes, they do, some of them. Some of them are not. Only one student working part-time as employee and part-time as business person. When we see this, vocational training is becoming very important. If we see the current short training courses offered and the people are just getting that for employability and just engaging with the business world. Therefore, VET as a meeting skills capacity amongst the diaspora community in Europe. Arising from my observation and also academic research, based on that, we began offering vocational training for diaspora in the UK with desire to extend this to other European countries. Why other European countries? Diaspora from Africa living in all Europe. We have people everywhere, whether it's Italy, France, Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, everywhere. I worked with all diaspora people, especially from my own country. So they need vocational training everywhere. Recent discussion with Ethiopian government officials in Addis Ababa have raised the need for establishing VET to meet the skills need in various sectors, including teachers training, young professionals. The issue of Ethiopian higher education quality is a major agenda for Ethiopian government at the moment. I worked with Ministry of Education and now working with a local government, especially with Addis Ababa, to develop the vocational training for teachers and also for young people to engage with work environment. And developing a close working relationship with government departments in Ethiopia as well as IGAD covering the 8 countries in East Africa. The need of vocational training is becoming huge and demanding. This is just a brief presentation from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Please. I'm coming to you, bring you the microphone.
I could stay, I think, with my microphone.
Yes, you can speak.
Good morning, Herbo. Nice to see you again. Stuart.
Good morning, nice to see you again.
Just a quick question in response to your observations and your research. You mentioned about the skills gap that you see between standard education and the requirements of organisations. What would be the main themes that you've spotted as being the gaps that exist between traditional education methods and the requirement for the workforce?
I think I could say a couple of things on that. Number one, in the past, the subject we're teaching at traditional universities are not matching with the work environment. The need of the community is different from what we're offering. So we haven't reviewed our curriculum enough. So technology was a matter. When technology came into big agenda, we didn't engage well. We just followed our own traditional training courses and the programs we have. And then other institutions offering short courses on technology area and picked the market. Now, AI is becoming another agenda. Those are the gaps I would say.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Herpo. Moving on, we have now a round table. I think it's a very exciting space this morning to put together some of the experts. We're talking about entrepreneurship and innovation, right? The special role of VET and TVET. I'm very excited to present to you, to introduce Mrs. Ilse Brante from the Association Cheese Club for Dairy Entrepreneurs and VET in Latvia. This lady has come all the way from Latvia and she's going to facilitate this session, so a big applause for her. Thank you. Thank you, Ilse. And if you want, the floor is yours. You can use that microphone. Yes? Thank you.
Yeah, dear colleagues, many greetings from Latvia, but I am not one. I have colleagues in my team. Please invite
Absolutely.
my colleagues.
All right, so the first one I'm going to now is Peter Kornhäusner, Vice President at GISMA University and Applied Science Berlin. Please join us on the stage. Thank you. You can sit there. Yes, please. And then he's just gone back to his seat, but I'm calling you again, sir, Mr. Hirpo Kombi. Please join us on the table. An applause for him as well. Thank you. And as third, but last but not least, Professor Urs Auenstein, please join us for this on this discussion and roundtable. A big applause for you as well. Okay, now you can move on. Thank you.
Yeah, it is very nice that Latvia will be the partner in Skillman's network, and I personally take the first time place in this Skillman Forum. 2 years ago we organized Skillman's Forum in Latvia. It was a very nice event, and thank you for this cooperation. It is really very big steps for development of vocational education and training in Latvia. I will explain the information about the Latvia. How is our cooperation with entrepreneurships and how we work together with different associations, companies and high schools in development of it. But before I start, maybe my colleagues can introduce yourself about cooperation with different companies in your countries. Maybe we start with Ethiopia. Please.
Can I add a colleague of mine as well in the panel?
Professor Tony?
Yes, please.
Professor Tony, please.
Please join us on here. I will give you the microphones first. Yeah. So you can manage with this. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I think we said that Ethiopia goes first. We are breaking the round here. Professor Tony?
You never come up until you're called.
Exactly. So if I understand it correctly, the question was how we are collaborating with the universities.
You in Germany collaborate with companies in development of education.
No, generally, I think in Germany one of the primary fields and formats that we have in Germany is this dual study, right? So basically, duales Studium, which means that the student is half of the time working in the company and the other half of the time, so 2 or 3 days a week, studying at the university and bringing together the best things of both worlds in that regard, a really integrated study in that regard. And I think maybe to come to the topic of the whole session, I think that VET providers have a really big influence on entrepreneurship because they are not just talking about it, but they are doing it and they are showing how you can put something into practice, which also connects with what you just had in your keynote, that basically many universities fail on delivering practical knowledge and applied knowledge, and they're just stuck in methods and methodologies. We had this at the dinner discussion yesterday, applying some methodologies from the 80s nowadays, right? And not even thinking about renewing them. And if you think about renewing them, then many universities and say, okay, this has been good for so long, why should we change it, right? You don't invent the wheel from ground up. But I think this innovation approach, this competitiveness approach, and trying to bring the whole economy and also your company to the next level, this is something that universities don't have typically. I would like to differentiate a little bit between public and private universities there also, because I think public universities might be a little bit slower, right? Because there's no need. Private universities have a little bit more urge to innovate, I think, as well. But VET companies are for sure the drivers to show young people how to run their own business and give entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It is very important because Latvia learned from Germany and about the dual education, but we now the same dual education that in Germany, but we have work-based learning, and it is so that some first study year students are in the company, and every next year, because studies in Latvian vocational education schools is 4 years, and with every year more and more days in the company, and it is really very good results and high quality specialists in labor market. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe Tony.
Thank you. Give it first. Yep. Okay. Yes.
Thank you for helping.
Thank you so much. Yeah, collaboration is, when I say collaboration from my own experience, collaboration can begin even in Europe, because a lot of nationalities coming to Europe for one or another reason. So the traditional university, as I mentioned, not making a necessary need assessment in order to develop their curriculum. Therefore, based on the need, we, as I in my presentation, I showed the potential for collaboration or partnership, working with diaspora community in Europe is one of the best collaboration area, I would say, because the traditional or mainstream colleges and the universities, even their timetable is not suiting the need of the community. Because when diaspora comes here, they come with a family, work responsibility, and structural connection with back home, and they struggle to meet deadline or attend the classes during time based on that timetable. Now, if we addressed that issue, this is one potential area for collaboration. Thinking back home, Ethiopia and other African countries, which, again, to address your question together, everywhere need is different, even to say, okay, this is area. When I take, for instance, Ethiopia, education quality is what the country is struggling with. Now, teachers training is important to be collaborate with. Employability is issue in general, globally, but in Ethiopia, mainly because when I did my research, this was 2020, 64% of Ethiopian population are under 24. Can you imagine? So there is a potential actually to use for manpower to equip them vocational training, which you mentioned, and that is also another vocational area or collaboration area and vocation. In general, in the past, education is from Western country to Eastern or Africa. Now, education is from everywhere to everywhere.
Exactly. Yes.
Because
Yes, exactly.
when I did my research, I assessed UK policy documents and the curriculum. When I compare that with the need in Africa, doesn't meet that need.
No. And the southern epistemologies from
Exa-
Africa need to be embedded in
Exactly.
Europe, rather than northern
Exactly.
epistemologies only embedded in
Exactly.
Africa. I know this from my experience in South Africa
Exactly.
and in Ghana.
So now, to beat even the market in Africa, it is time for the Western countries
Absolutely.
to make a collaboration based on the need in Africa, rather than copy and the paste of curriculum from Western country to Africa. However, vocational is still engaged with business world. That is the best form of collaboration. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think it is very important, to know information from Africa, because for Latvia this information is not new, and new experience is the development. And what is in United Kingdom and from Liverpool, for example, Professor?
I mean, the person who should be sitting here is not me, it should be Gary Miller. Gary Miller has done more for entrepreneurship in this city than any other single person. But let me just explain, I mean, there are so many different models of how we integrate educational systems and business development systems. One of the things we do at our university, there are many universities around the United Kingdom that use a program called Young Enterprise. Normally that is offered to students as a way of them discovering, if they wish, what it means to be an entrepreneur, to work in a business startup, to set up their own company. One of the things we do at our university is we require every single student within the business school to be part of a startup company. Now, this is a different model to embedding students in businesses. That is very vital model. But what we do is we require our students to start a business themselves with business mentors. People perhaps not as brilliantly qualified as Gary is in this. We tried for years to get Gary to be one of our mentors, but he's so busy with so many things. But having business mentors work with our students to see from scratch what it means to start from before an idea, actually to develop a business right to the point of sale and beyond, actually that expresses a level of innovation and a level of entrepreneurial development that we've seen is way beyond actually asking students to pick and choose things. And I teach classes on entrepreneurship and innovation, and I think it's a waste of time, because actually teaching the classes is not the experience. And the experience and some of the things we can learn from an African Southern epistemology is that practice and actually doing in community and in relationship, discovering relationship before you do anything, which is the African way, that is a vital part of what the Northern world needs to learn in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship. And we've made some little steps in our university. Gary is a past master at helping people understand who they are, their relationships and collaborative capacity with other people, and build on that. And we think this is really vitally important. But what that and what Skillman add now to the mix is the potential to pick up skilled tools in a much faster, slicker, and more informed way than we've been able to do in the past. And so we're really excited about embedding the Skillman network into what we're doing in our university, because that will take us to a new level.
Thank you very much, because it is very important that every student houses entrepreneurships and business ideas, and every possibilities to develop own business. Before Urs, I will.
Can I
my
just add one thing?
presentation. Yeah.
If I could just add one thing. What we say to our students is the main thing that you will learn is not technical expertise. It's not specifically about business development. It's about how to relate to other people. Because the key skill, as we all know, within business is the ability to connect, to relate, and to build relationships. And that is absolutely, and there is no substitute for that. You can't teach it in a classroom. You can only point people to it. But actually, when students and when learners engage in that relationship building themselves in a business environment, then all sorts of innovation flies.
Thank you very
Ilse,
much.
your presentation.
Before Urs, I will bring my presentation with the ideas how is in Latvia, because Urs very well know Latvia. Urs is our visiting professor in International Baccalaureate Career Education Teaching Program in Latvia. Very nice, he's experienced. Vocational education is special education and need to bring high quality specialists to labor market. And the first step, vocational education schools in Latvia, how in cooperation with different associations. And for example, the school take part in the association, write the agreement, and work together with different associations, that teaching programs how the school. For example, here is one example for Licta is IT technologies, Lettera is electronic technologies, wood industry. I am from vocational education, but today I am represent the Cheese Club. It bring together milk production companies. It is through this Cheese Club I will entrepreneur this cooperation with association. Here is Cheese Club, a logo. Representatives from association is delegate to take part in vocational education schools conventions. In cooperation with association, we make new teaching programs, organize future education seminars for students and teachers, organize professional competition, and the association, it is very important, award best students, best teachers, and the staff from the school, and these best students how better possibilities in labor market, because with special assessment to go to labor market, support and take part in development in teaching programs for adults. For example, representatives from association is visiting lectures in these teaching programs, and of course it is very important to take part in different career events and bring the reclama about the profession that connect this association. The first step is association. But next step is companies. And the school, how agreements with many companies, for example, the school, how more than 1,000 companies that it is possibilities to have practice places, and after good practice, it is possibilities for the student to work in this company. From beginning 2000 is the idea about the dual education in vocational education. It is experience from Germany, from Austria, from Switzerland. And from 2013 is really not dual education but work-based learning, and from first study years the student is in the company. It is very important because the student have possibilities to learn this profession and know like this profession or not. Companies take part in teacher training. Companies award students with scholarship, for example, participate in teaching programs for adults, and for example, adults take part in practical experience in companies too, and future education seminars with teachers and students too, and participate in different career events. For example, business days in the school. And we have very good cooperation with high schools, with universities. It is very important, and it is agreement between vocational education school and university, and it is education. It is visiting professors that is coming to vocational education school, guest lectures, participation in career education because university-wide have good students, cooperation through use modern equipment. For example, Latvian Agriculture University, the name is the Latvian Bioscience and Technology University, it is changing last time the name, how not harvesters and forwarders, these big forestry machines in the university, but the students go to Uagre Technical School and learn 1 month with this wood machines and learn all these technologies. And our teacher, the teacher from the school, work with the students. And I think it is very important that the best students that have very good results in education, when she graduates at school, how this certificate that she have possibilities to go to study states supported teaching programs. It is our cooperation with different high schools. And of course, this cooperation is not for one direction, but is cooperation together, because the school need high quality for teaching process, but the companies need high quality specialists. It is the briefly information about our cooperation with different companies, association and high schools, and maybe Urs can develop this idea about cooperation in Switzerland and of course in Latvia, because from our meetings we know very well the situation in our countries.
Many thanks. I think I really has to say that I'm utterly impressed by my visits in Latvia. I'm on the one hand I'm the president of Swiss Quality, so I'm looking to qualities, and that they invited me to get a visiting professor for Latvia for this pilot project of the ministry, and as a pilot project in the Baltic states. That is important, and that they are connecting vocational education training with entrepreneurial thoughts is incredible, and that brings this innovation character, which we heard as well from Africa. And I'm happy to work with Hirpo together, because he is a profound knower and researcher in this field of higher education and vocational education training. So these things should come together, and that can say me why I'm sitting here in this panel. I have founded an institute group. First I founded an institute, the Hauenstein Institute, as a legacy for me and the future, and then I got more investors who want to support this, and from the Hauenstein Institute in Zurich, we got developed a Hauenstein Institute group, who should have a seat in UK, in Italy, in Germany, in Romania, and maybe as well in Africa or elsewhere, but we discussed yesterday as well in the Baltic states. So, and what we are doing, you can see that maybe on my slide, Alessandro, very short, and then I will give it over. In this, all these technical changes, but he is able to do that, and therefore I say, the Hauenstein Institute has a clear message. We are trying to look to the futures. I explained yesterday about the difference of future and futures. And you can see here the world for the futures, and we're speaking about regenerating systems for the Anthropocene with sustainability and artificial intelligence. We believe that this is at the moment that what the world is needing. And you see here in the photo behind the view from the Milk Street to the planet Earth. And that is this situation, what the planet Earth needs for a regeneration, for a metamorphosis of life, for a good change. Future will happen, but we need to have a good future and good futures. And that is not easy done. We have heard yesterday John Patterson about the world of the blinds and deaf people. And he said, we has to be active. We has to do something. And therefore I want to give Tony, Professor Tony, Bradley as well the micro, because he is the new director of sustainability in this institute group. And maybe he can say something about sustainability for the futures, what that means.
I'll just get my notes up because I don't want to miss any of my points. Can I just say that this has been a wonderful conference. Maybe not quite as many people as you might have hoped, but the quality of the presentations, the extent of the innovative thinking, the integration of different worldviews has been absolutely spectacular. I think we do need to thank Giovanni, Urs, Stefania, all the other leaders for bringing this excellent conference here. Could we just do that? And it's also, I just wanted to say it's been my real privilege and honor to get to know this man over the last 2 to 3 years. As soon as Urs and I started to get to know one another, we realized that we were on a very similar page and working in a very similar way of thinking. And one of the things, as Urs has just said, in terms of preparing as best we can in our own ways for the futures within the Anthropocene, bringing together sustainability skills, and looking at AI, we have a distinctive approach to sustainability. That is to recognize that it's a buzzword. 30 years ago, Bill McKibben said sustainability was a buzzless buzzword, a meaningless concept, because it was used in so many different ways. But what we see is that it's not simply about acting in the present to ensure futures in green and environmental senses. Rather, we see a more holistic perspective, which relates sustaining people systems and communities, to sustaining the values, cultures, and human journeys that we're each on. Of course, to sustain ways of life that take circular production and consumption, low carbon futures, enhancing natural capital seriously, but also to sustain productivity, prosperity, and profitability. And we call this a 4 Ps sustainability cycle: people, purpose, planet, and prosperity. Not as distinct fields, but integrating together in a cyclical process of development. This is one of the things that I believe the Hauenstein Institutes, as I thought it was the Hauenstein Institute this morning, but then Urs explained to me that we're now moving in so many different countries. The Hauenstein Institute will be able to bring to this world of sustainability. And one of our tasks is to develop a suite of digitally badged micro-credentials that enable the holistic, integral, full-spectrum approach to sustainability. We've already mapped 25 of these, but one of the things that has come out of the conversation for me this morning, and I'm grateful to Peter for stimulating this, is that in the development of all our particular skills,
result. Maybe Professor Peter comments
Comment on what?
about Hauenstein Institute.
Oh yes, for sure. I can talk for hours about this. So basically, as it's so I think that the Hauenstein Institute, as you also outlined, Tony, and as I've heard from Urs, this is an amazing initiative, right? In terms of future-proof research, but not only combining this future-proof research to testimonials, how you can have a really nice application of these methodologies in the right in different industries in different countries, right? And in that regard, I was also delighted to learn that the Hauenstein Institutes will be in different countries and hopefully also in different continents. So because I think to make this really applied and to have this outreach, you need to have different local players involved, right? It cannot be just in Italy, it cannot just be in UK, it cannot be just in Germany or Switzerland, right? But it has to be really a global initiative and a global institutional approach. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you. And Ethiopia, professor from Ethiopia, what does your things?
Thank you so much. I think I have a huge hope on this institute because he is coming from the experience. Remember, I was made a little criticism on traditional university. He worked in the university, he understood the gap in the university. He understood the need of diaspora or the community. He understood the world. This institution is coming because of the need. I'm just finalizing a book on Ethiopian higher education, almost done in-house. I launched a book recently on my academic research, thinking his understanding of the world. I have a huge hope and best wishes.
Yeah, I think thank you to my colleagues about our experience, and we wish to Hauenstein Institute all the best in the development, the idea, new ideas, and innovative ideas. Thank you.
I saw a message from our president, from Giovanni Grisona, and he said, there is the break ready, and we can't wait longer.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now break, yes. 10 minutes break. Break. Thanks. And there is also the fire alarm testing at 11:30.
We have to go then out or no?
No, I don't know. They informed us to
Appoggi là.
La devo inserire o appoggio accanto al computer? Sì.
Okay, so welcome back from the refreshment. I see new guests arrived, so welcome to the conference. Did you enjoy the session so far this morning, everyone? Yes? Was it interesting? Okay. Now moving on to the next speaker, we have very high expectations on you, Sir Alderman Gary Miller. So our next speaker is Alderman Gary Miller from Liverpool John Moores University and former Lord Mayor of Liverpool. And he will share with us and highlight Liverpool's global connections, including China, I hear. So I'm very interested in that because I've lived in China for many years, for 8 years. So,
and he's speaking Chinese.
Yeah. And how the local leadership can foster international growth. So I wouldn't indulge any further and leave you the floor, sir. It's all yours. Thank you.
What a wonderful introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, my name is Alderman Gary Miller. I'm no longer a Mr. An alderman is a former politician who has retired from politics to concentrate on philanthropy, charity work, writing books, and international relationships. And this is what we're going to talk about this morning for about 15 minutes. I would like some questions. I want some intervention. You help me, I will help you. I'm going to talk about the soft power of international relations. We can have all the evidence, all the details, but actually international relations in my world is about who you are meeting, the ability to meet people, the ability to bring back information from overseas, back to places like Liverpool, because sometimes in my previous world, you kind of get criticized for going overseas. People think international travel, when I was a politician, is about having a jolly. I wish. I once went to Beijing and Shanghai leading a delegation, and the University of Liverpool grabbed hold of me and said, would you speak at a conference full of agencies that bring students to universities all over the UK? Of course I will. And it was the 10th anniversary of Kaplan International Pathways being in Liverpool. And I said, of course, but it meant I didn't get, and the only time in 11 years, didn't get to go to the Great Wall of China, to go to the Film Palace. Instead, I stood in a room like this, talking to 200 agents who were bringing students to Liverpool. Now that's really important, because I didn't know, and you should never talk about this to students and their families, because they're not money-making machines. But every time an international student comes to Liverpool, they will spend approximately 50,000 British pounds a year in places like Liverpool. That's good for our hotels. It's good for our hospitality venues. It's also good for our universities. Not just in fact they are coming to study, but it's great when you bring people together. It's inclusive, it's equitable, it's about diversity, and that's something, that is something that international relations should be about, is that ability to go overseas and learn from other people. It's that exploration, because we're not the best, except you're going to learn things that we are good at through my presentation. Now I'm going to use this for the first time and I hope it works. I am the chair and president of the Liverpool-China Partnership. I'm also the president of the Liverpool Commonwealth Association. I'm the former vice mayor or deputy mayor of Liverpool, and as you saw before, Lord Mayor of Liverpool. I've enjoyed my time in Liverpool, which has been 42 years, and I came here to study in Liverpool in 1983, and I am a technologist and entrepreneur. That is my background. Collectively, our partnership at the Liverpool-China Partnership has brought in over 1 billion British pounds into the Liverpool City region economy by going overseas, by working with the University of Liverpool, by working with John Moores University, by working with Liverpool Hope University, and also, and we must not forget them, the not in Liverpool City region, Edge Hill University. We have 4 world-leading universities in different arenas here in the Liverpool City region area, including Edge Hill, which started in Liverpool as well. If you don't know the words Edge Hill, you should, because the world's first commercial railway line went from Liverpool to Manchester in 1830 at Edge Hill, which is where this university started. There are some logos of some of my partners at the Liverpool-China Partnership. I co-founded the Liverpool-China Partnership in 2015 as a legacy statement of the International Business Festival, which was a United Kingdom government's international business festival. There were 3, 2014, 2016 and 2018. I led all 3 of those with my colleagues, but from that came the Liverpool-China Partnership, because we recognised that we could do more trade and more research and more work with our friends in China, but also Indonesia, South Korea, Japan, Africa, the United States, Ireland, Europe as well. But in this particular conversations about China, the work that I've been doing with our partners, with our universities, with our hospitals, with our businesses, some of those we call SMEs, small, medium-sized enterprises, is in the areas of trade and investment, academia and research, cultural exchange, and sports cooperation. Now, Mark, our friend here, Mark, hello, Mark is waving at us. Mark tells me he's a Blue. He supports Everton Football Club. But Liverpool, as you know, has one of the best teams in the world called Liverpool Football Club. Last year they won Champions League.
Go, Gary.
They might not be doing as well this year, but they could come back. But Everton have the newest stadium in the United Kingdom in the regenerated Docklands area, actually regenerated. You know, our exploration overseas and our international relations is to show other people that Liverpool is actually good at certain things, and we have our docks, which used to be the best in the world, and then didn't catch on to a thing called containers, and sadly lost its way. But it's now in Liverpool, next to the Everton ground or the Hill Dickinson Stadium, has actually now returned back to the 4th largest dock system, logistics and transportation centre in the United Kingdom, and the biggest on the west coast of the United Kingdom, facing the transatlantic, where Panamax, the larger container ships, are now able to come into Liverpool, into what they call Liverpool 2, which is the new system of the deep water container terminal that's been specially created using British research and interest, but Chinese technology from ZPMC, which is almost £1 billion worth of investment, where new heavy lifting equipment has come all the way from Shanghai into Liverpool to actually kind of recreate the prowess, the importance that our port system had many, many years ago, 100 years ago, and it's returning. So we're getting ships coming into Liverpool with 22,000 containers on those ships. Sadly, our road system hasn't caught up with that, and we often have gridlock in the area around the port. It's not very good for the environment, but then they are expanding the use of our rail system out of the docks, and hopefully it will get better. And also, strangely, going back to the old days, using the Manchester Ship Canal to get containers to Salford and towards the Manchester area of our country, to then take it to our airlines and to our motorways to be a centralised kind of system, which actually is helping Liverpool with our free port system, which, if you are listening from our friends overseas, you can now assemble goods from Latvia, from Germany, from Italy, from Europe. You can assemble those in the Liverpool City region, and strangely it is called the Liverpool Free Port, but it also includes Manchester, Salford area as well. But you can bring goods now to Liverpool area, assemble them, manufacture them, and you're incentivized to do so by reduced taxes, reduced tariffs, by doing that in the Liverpool City region, and then sending them straight out to Ireland, to the United States, etc., and reduce taxes. No, I'm talking about things, I'm going to move on, I'm talking about things that are really quite important about Liverpool, but I was asked to talk about China. But when you go to China, or Indonesia, or Africa, or the UAE, or Europe, Ireland, United States, they don't know these things. And actually, it is about having the ability to go overseas to any country and tell them, what are your number ones? What are you good at doing in your region? And not be arrogant enough to think that Liverpool is the centre of the universe, but actually must be working with Manchester, Leeds, Hull, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Birmingham and London, because we're actually a country of almost 70 million people. But when you're in our sister city of Shanghai, which varies in its numbers when you look at Wikipedia or artificial intelligence, it's either 25 million or 32 million people, and we're a country of 70 million. It kind of sees how much smaller we are, except when you go overseas, you discover that Liverpool's brand is one of the top brands in the world because of things like music, football. And actually, when you do it, I know one university in Liverpool did a branding exercise where they tried to find out, where are we in terms of brand? In China, Liverpool was number 4 for the whole world. And they thought, oh, that must be Liverpool University, that must be Liverpool. No, it's Liverpool Football Club that made it, and sorry Mark, it's not Everton, it made Liverpool the 4th best brand as far as the Chinese were concerned in China. And that's amazing, it's wonderful. But I've said on my screen here, we are a sister city of Shanghai. We've been engaging with Shanghai since 1830 when the first Shanghai sailors came to Liverpool, but we didn't start sailing to Shanghai from Liverpool until 1866. And it took us till 1999 to have a formal sister city relationship. And actually, when you're talking about international relationships, use your existing strong links with your sister cities, your twinned cities, because actually that is a launch pad to doing more business, to doing more research, to doing more academic work together. It's really quite powerful because from a government point of view, through the UN, through UNESCO, and through individual governments overseas, the respect for sister city status is way up here. It's very high, and magic seems to be happening. And in Shanghai in particular for Liverpool, but Cologne in Germany, Dublin in Ireland, and often people say Rio de Janeiro, and also we look at things like New York. Well, they're not sister cities, but they are relationships. They are kind of twinned in a way. Jakarta is a kind of twinning, but actually the sister city is Surabaya, and that's our most recent one. And those countries and those cities are waiting for Liverpool to tell its story.
Gary, do you mind if I ask a question about the sister cities?
Yes. I don't mind. Carry on, please.
From your perspective.
Oh, you need a microphone. This is Stuart Maddox, everyone.
Thanks, Gary. With regard to the sister cities that you mentioned, and you're obviously passionate about them because you see the effect that that sister city relationship has in your diplomatic trips and the way that you're ambassadorial around Liverpool and the UK. What practical benefits do you see from that sister city relationship, and how could we as a city and other cities that have that relationship leverage that a little more than we do? Because I think for probably most of us sat in the room, just even the notion of a sister city doesn't really sit on our agenda or our radar that much, unless we've got roles that are integral into that.
So I'm thinking about time now. Very quickly, in terms of international relationships in any city where you are a sister city, the local municipal and provincial governments from those areas will open their doors and welcome you in and make magic happen. And that will be, for example, if we were not a sister city of Shanghai, the University of Liverpool would probably never have created the largest campus in China between a Liverpool or a UK university with now 35,000 students.
With more students in Shanghai than in Liverpool.
Than they are. There's more students in Suzhou next to Shanghai because of the University of Liverpool and Xi'an Jiaitong than there is here in Liverpool at the same university, all studying Liverpool University degrees and masters and PhDs, and it all started with Shanghai and that relationship and the hard work of that university. So when we go to places like Shanghai or to Surabaya, the government says, come on, let's do more. What can we do to help? And so that the magic does happen on a civic level, and then you leave the agencies, the institutions to do the due diligence, the risk assessment. They're kind of working out what economic strategies and academic strategies that they have between them. That's what Sister Cities helps create. Last year, I co-led a delegation where the University of Liverpool signed 5 new MOUs based on joint research, where the John Moores University signed additional MOUs with 3 university partners, where they have now been taking up to 50 students on student mobility and social mobility for students who are being funded through the British Council and others, who are now able to go and explore places like China and Africa and Indonesia and Malaysia. They would never have that opportunity if it hadn't started with the sister city relationships. So a lot more happens with those. And actually in places like China, it happens faster if it's led by a civic leader, a politician, vice mayor to vice mayor, mayor to mayor, district leader to district leader, and then they open the doors to their institutions, their governments, and so on. But in China, it's unusual that it normally is better led by a politician, because then it's very political and hierarchical, and it's actually really quite appropriate. But it's different to the United States, where a business could lead that and do things faster and better. But in China, it is about civic engagement. And that's where I've learned how to kind of work with governments. In my current position, I'm still seen not as a politician, because we're not a political organisation, but I still open the doors because they respect my former roles as Lord Mayor and Vice Mayor, and now Chair and President of the China Partnership. I am going to move on. I'm just thinking about your time. Our friends from overseas, this is really quite important. We have 2 international airports within 45 minutes of where we're sitting now. We are 2 hours and 10, 2 hours 20 minutes from London. Although Tony Bradley came from a place called Southport this morning, and it almost took him 2 hours to get here, and it's only 30 minutes away normally. But actually we're 2 hours-ish from London. We're fairly central and very accessible. There's no reason why we can't have more visitors from Italy, more visitors from Germany, more visitors from Ethiopia, and more visitors from places like Manchester. We are here by a beautiful river with more monuments, more statues, historic relevance than anywhere in the United Kingdom except London. And I know you heard from Angie Redhead yesterday, and we are the 3rd most visited city in the United Kingdom with 62 million visitors last year. Great for tourism. You're not here long enough. I want you to come back and do more in this wonderful city. A city of culture and sport, the UNESCO City of Music, birthplace of the Beatles, city of education and knowledge, has an innovation ecosystem, and part of your topics for today and yesterday was advanced manufacturing and advanced engineering, and we are a centre of that with the works that our universities are doing, but also institutions and businesses. We're building cars, we're in EV, we're building wind turbines. We're a city of health and life sciences and digital and creative. And I was explaining to our friends from Latvia this morning, just across the road behind me, we're also almost sitting in the coolest place to live and play and invest, called Baltic Triangle, directly behind us. Fastest growing in terms of gaming and digital and creative app developers and architects and bars and restaurants and hotels just over the road here. We're a city of ports and maritime. Ports and maritime, we were the most famous for many years. We lost our way, we are coming back. And our friend Mark can tell us all about logistics and transport. I've already given you some statistics. The biggest on the west coast of the United Kingdom port system, with access to airports, access to trains, access to containers, access to ships and so on, and access to technology and high-skilled, high-paid jobs. And can't forget professional and business services. 75,000 people working in professional and business services in this area, within a mile of this area, and we are still the 2nd largest wealth management centre in the United Kingdom, just after London, because we have some of the oldest investment businesses, Rathbones, Tilneys, former Investec and so on in this area. Money's a big thing in Liverpool, but we don't talk about it enough. I've mentioned the Freeport already. We have the Freeport Innovation Zone, unlocks maximum incentives for investors. And one of our partners, Trinity Logistics, this is the Liverpool-China partnership, is doing a lot of work in China and a lot of work in Liverpool. But I mention them for a reason. They're a partner, but it's a female-led, a woman-led business in a man's world where there are people who are all women in this business who are competing and beating the men in their traditional markets. And I think that is wonderful, and I want to see more of that. There's some details. Are we going to be sharing this afterwards, this PDF, this document? So there's some details about our logistics, ports and maritime trade. 48,200 jobs supported in maritime and logistics. It's worth 5 billion British pounds to our local economy GDP-wise. I've mentioned already we're home to two amazing football teams, Liverpool and Everton, and Tony Bradley was about to say Liverpool first team and Liverpool second team. No, there's also Everton, Dr. Bradley. Cavern Club. If you've not been to the Cavern Club, the birthplace of the Beatles, it is worth visiting just to go and feel the vibe. And one day I will get Urs Hansdown, to join me on the stage of the Cavern and do what the Beatles did, and we could sing to an audience, because you can do that on Wednesday afternoons. It is a wonderful thing to do, and you're living in a breathing piece of history. It is 70% of the original Cavern, despite people saying it's been moved. It is still part of the original Cavern, and it's great history and it's great music. And they're one of my partners of the Liverpool-China partnership. And when we go overseas, it's not all about academia. It's not all about life sciences. Actually, there's businesses who want to do operations and licenses over in China, and we introduce those into places like Beijing, Kunming, and Shanghai. This is my almost final screen. I think it's my penultimate screen. Please help Liverpool with its international student recruitment and business development. Help us develop our international strategy. And once the Skillman.eu International Forum ends, please help us build our key partnerships with Liverpool and invite me to come along as the chair and president of the China Partnership, but also the Commonwealth Association. I'd be quite happy to come to Latvia, to come to Italy, to come to Ethiopia, to come to Africa, to come to Germany, to come to Manchester and talk about some of the things that we've spoke about. Because you asked me, Urs, to speak about China, but actually I'm not going to China to talk about China. I'm there to talk about United Kingdom PLC and how we could do more appropriate business together, and that's one of my strengths. And I know that Tony was very kind to me about my entrepreneurial work. I am an entrepreneur, I am a technologist, I used to write software that's used all over the world, but I've retired from that now. I'm now paying it forward. That means I don't want thanks, I don't want applause, but I want you to go ahead and do good things for good people all around the world, and I'll be there to help you do that. You can scan this. It'll take you to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. As I say, today we're talking about Liverpool and the world. Liverpool is an amazing brand. That's coming from somebody from Edinburgh. I'm from Scotland, and I've lived here because I studied here back in 1983, and I never left. And there is a thing about Liverpool. Giovanni, you must drink Liverpool water, and you must breathe in Liverpool air. Because when you do, you become addicted to the city, and you want to keep coming back again and again to see what a wonderful city that is so honest, so hardworking, so gritty, and so humorous. It keeps you grounded, and I love that. And sometimes when we get to Lord Mayor positions and chair positions, we sometimes forget where we come from. Well, you can rely on a Scouser bringing you back down to earth again, because that's what we need, to be grounded, and that's what this city does so wonderfully well. And you've got a photograph, I think, of me on the screen with some pandas. I visited Chengdu last year, and I actually got to feed the pandas. I got to be at the breeding station to see what they're doing to save the pandas, to save the forest. And actually, Chengdu and the work they're doing with the pandas have increased the numbers of pandas, the giant pandas, in China alone by a factor of about 10 in a factor of 10 years, and have grown the area of protection to 1 million square kilometers that didn't exist before. And they're protecting the trees, they're protecting the environment, protecting these wonderful creatures. And there's me with 5 pandas. I now have 10 pandas, not real ones, at home because they keep giving me gifts of pandas because they're the cutest things ever, particularly when they're that size. They're a bit scary when they're that big with the big claws, but actually they're so cute anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alderman Gary Miller, but to you it's Gary. Please keep in touch, follow me on LinkedIn and on Instagram, and see what magic we can make happen internationally, because I'm here to help. Thank you so much.
What an inspiring speech. Thank you very much, Alderman Gary Miller, for your presentation, for your insights on what wonderful things and what magic Liverpool can do with the world. So I'm going to call Filippo Del Nino to join me for
Ever feel like you're on a treadmill that's just getting faster and faster when it comes to your career? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive into some huge insights from the Skillman International Forum 2025 that basically give us a map for this completely new world of work. Let's jump right in. Let's just start with this. This is a bit of a wake-up call, right? And this isn't some guess about the future. This is what's happening right now. The biggest takeaway from the whole forum was this: knowing how to use AI isn't a bonus skill anymore.
Thank you very much. Does it work? Yeah? Yes. Okay. As every year, I have the responsibility and the privilege to draft some conclusions out of the 2 days event. I'm sorry if I read, but it's impossible for me to actually draft the document and actually prepare a presentation at the same side, so it's going to be a bit more static. The conclusion of the Skillman International Forum 2025 reflect the results of the discussion we had in these 2 days, but also the work done by Skillman throughout the year in cooperation with its members and partners, the European Training Foundation and CEDEF. These conclusions build on the vision of a real and equitable lifelong learning system laid out in the Riga Declaration 2023, taking stock of the evolution of human capital contexts and how time has impacted on the value of our vision and the roadmap to get there. Discussions and recommendations laid out in the Skillman International Forum 2024 in Montecatini and in the 2025 Tibet Alliance Summit in Ancona allowed us to flesh out our vision and adapt the roadmap to the evolving context of our society. In the last 2 years, several negative trends, international instability, tariff wars,
it's becoming the baseline for getting and keeping a job. So, why all
but those necessary to face the increasing challenges to our beliefs and democratic values. Then there is something more positive and scarier at the same time, the AI revolution and its pervasive impact on all aspects of our life, starting with the capacity of human capital development systems to react and adapt to a completely different pace of change. At the heart of the Riga Declaration, there was the vision: building a learning society, implementing a real, equitable, lifelong learning system. We also refer to excellence for all instead of excellence for a few. And we were and still are confident this is, at the same time, the right thing to do and the necessary thing to do. The trends we identified, the need for strong key competence for all citizens to actively participate in the labour market and in the society, are still there. Once again, what is now radically different is the pace of change. Where we saw the need to investigate possible change, we are now forced to act. What was a priority for rapid action, it has become the need of instantaneous change. There are countless aspects of human capital affected by the continuous development of AI. The most obvious is the increased unpredictability of current and future occupational standards and qualification. The importance of the means offered by AI integration in work processes is evolving from being the exception to becoming the standard. I'm not a smart employee because I effectively use AI. I'm unemployed if I don't. Most countries have efficient and effective processes to ensure the occupational standard and qualifications are updated regularly and reflect the need of the labor market. But are these processes flexible enough? Are they fast enough? Whatever was our own opinion on the topic, the AI tsunami is shaking the grounds of this discussion. Now, one of the reflections that comes out of the Skillman International Forum is broad, but I think an essential one. We need to have a holistic governance of the lifelong learning system. We cannot focus anymore on one small segment, being it primary education, secondary education, vet, tertiary, adult education. In particular, we cannot maintain a chasm between initial education and continuing education. Our societies and our economy cannot survive the current low levels of continuing education, and these cannot improve if two conditions are not met. First, everybody needs to be provided with the necessary key competence for continuously engaging in learning processes. Second, the lifelong learning system needs to be flexible, reactive, and modular. And most of all, it must be funded. Many countries, especially in Europe, are rightly proud of providing free initial education for all individuals. However, with the increasing importance of continuing education, the quality and inclusiveness of these systems is now challenged. We discussed one of the most important trends in lifelong learning, micro-credential, a new name for a form of learning that many countries have implemented for decades. The welcome fact is the fact that the EU has elaborated a specific recommendation to frame it in a more structured context, aiming at expanding their use and making lifelong learning accessible and effective. We debated the issue of trust, highlighting the importance of finding a balance between structuring micro-credential in the context of NQFs, validated through strong quality assurance processes, and exploiting the disruptive, innovative force of bottom-up micro-credential development. We are not ready yet to assess the impact of AI in this area, but we can reasonably expect that explosion in the micro-credential offer, an explosion in micro-credential offer, and we have to be realistic in dealing with it. The biggest challenge currently in the lifelong learning context in our country is the quantity of learning more than the quality of learning. In Montecatini, 1 year ago, we celebrated craftsmanship and artistic expression. We rebuke the idea that they are remnants of the past, while identifying them as dynamic forces shaping the future. History demonstrates that arts and crafts has always interacted with technological development, challenging and expanding its horizons. We therefore committed to a renewed understanding of creativity as the unifying principle linking vocational excellence, cultural heritage, and innovation. The AI revolution did not change this belief. On the contrary, we consider the crafts as one of the sectors better suited to weather the AI storm. In the conclusions of the Allies Summit 2025 in Ancona, we underlined the importance of human capital development for economic growth and competitiveness. We identify entrepreneurship as the most important enabler of growth together with skills development. We talked about the importance of entrepreneurship as mindset as well as a set of hard competencies. We also allocated a big responsibility for Center of Excellence in providing services in these areas. Support to startups and entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship training, provision of strategic services to SMEs, and support to companies in the definition of upskilling and reskilling strategies to generate growth and reduce workforce layoff. We have tackled the issue once again this year, and we have put attention on the crucial role of TVET in promoting entrepreneurship. Numbers don't lie. The share of graduates becoming entrepreneurs is higher in TVET than in general and higher education. All speakers today highlighted the importance of companies' engagement in the entrepreneurship learning processes. Apprenticeship schemes, the use of business mentors, entrepreneurship simulations are all tools that must be integrated in theoretical entrepreneurship teaching. Once again, the impact of AI has to be taken into consideration. For entrepreneurs and would-be entrepreneurs, AI is a godsend. It significantly reduces initial costs of setting up businesses, deal with secondary aspects, and allow the entrepreneur to focus on the core business. It facilitates experimentation and prototype development, incentivizing potential entrepreneurs in acting and allowing easier access to external investments. Another topic that we address today, in continuation to the discussion started in Ancona, is mobility for growth. In Ancona, we focus on the importance of managing migration flows to maximize the benefits for all concerned actors, the sending and receiving countries, the migrants, the families, and enterprises. Yesterday, we talked more about the opportunity of international mobility for learning purposes. Generation of young people can now testify the impact of mobility in their skills development as well as personal growth. In this context, we take the opportunity to praise the role of Skillman as a historical hub for international mobility. Finally, we need to talk about the twin transition. This year, the Skillman Forum served as a reality check for the world performance against its own agreed sustainable development goals. It didn't go well. It was not a rosy picture. We are not aligning with most of the targets, and this means we still have not understood the magnitude of what we are facing and the importance of acting as soon as possible through an integrated, holistic approach. In both green and digital transition, we are talking about systemic changes, not sectorial changes. Every job is an environment job, was said yesterday. This simple statement gives an idea of the mental shift policymakers must implement. We have addressed the impact of AI across all the recommendations of these conclusions, but we can take the opportunity to underline once again the impact of human capital and the world of work of AI cannot be underestimated. All the stakeholders have to make the maximum effort to anticipate and get ready for what is going to come. We therefore congratulate Skillman for the launch of the Gen AI Academy, a very much needed initiative that I'm sure elicits the interest of all the stakeholders attending the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Filippo. You can stay there. We have a surprise. One moment. So, you know we are streaming and there are many colleagues connected, and I received from the chat many positive remarks, especially for this capacity. We are faster than the artificial intelligence because we produce, thanks to the support of ETF representative, this important document that will mark the steps that we will do in the next year till the next conference.
The forum used a really powerful metaphor to describe what's going
on. Moved to the next challenges. And because we have shown yesterday the mental maps of the mind maps of the speakers, the speeches, now we did another experiment.
AI revolution as just another software update. Nope, they see it as a full-on tsunami. A wave of change so massive, it's literally reshaping the ground under our feet. And this slide right here, it just nails that shift in speed. I mean, think about it. We used to be in a pretty predictable rhythm. You know, a new treadmill that's just getting fast.
Before to launch it, I would remark my personal thanks to Filippo. He's not alone. He has. There is an entire team that is looking to Skillman. I have to make my thanks to Giorgio Sitsimios that decided to support us years ago, and this collaboration is going on very well. I mentioned yesterday, Urs, they received support from CDFOP because of this research that is going on teachers and schools, and of course this is a very important source of knowledge for the Skillman community. My personal thanks to Filippo because of his dedication and commitment to support the network with concrete efforts, making us able to produce outstanding outputs like the documents that every year we publish and that are elaborated thanks to this high professionality. So please, a big applause to Filippo. In one side we have the community composed by the academy, the academic members from the academy, and then we have contributions and support from the European Union, the European Commission, and the agencies of the European Commission. So I think that this combination ensures a high quality of outputs, and maybe we can also envisage to have real impact in the area of education and training. So now we have given the text to the artificial intelligence, and we have a video that was produced. It's a surprise for me too, because it was ended during the speech of Filippo, during Filippo reading the declaration, the final outputs of the Skillman Forum. So I move.
Okay, so ever feel like you're on a treadmill that's just getting faster and faster when it comes to your career? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive into some huge insights from the Skillman International Forum 2025 that basically give us a map for this treadmill that's just getting faster and faster when it comes to your career. Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive into some huge insights from the Skillman Okay, so ever feel like you're on a treadmill that's just getting faster and faster when it comes to your career? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive into some huge insights from the Skillman International Forum 2025 that basically give us a map for this completely new world of work. Let's jump right in.
Let's just start with this. This is a bit of a wake-up call, right? And this isn't some guess about the future. This is what's happening right now. The biggest takeaway from the whole forum was this. Knowing how to use AI isn't a bonus skill anymore. It's not a nice-to-have. It's becoming the baseline for getting and keeping a job.
So, why all the intense language? Well, the forum used a really powerful metaphor to describe what's going on. They didn't see this AI revolution as just another software update. Nope, they see it as a full-on tsunami. A wave of change so massive, it's literally reshaping the ground under our feet. And this slide right here, it just nails that shift in speed. I mean, think about it. We used to be in a pretty predictable rhythm. You know, a new technology comes out, we get some training, and we adapt over time. But AI, it's thrown that whole playbook out the window. We're now in a world where we have to adapt constantly, almost instantaneously. The old pace just doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so if the old map is useless, what's our new North Star? The great thing is, the forum didn't just point out the storm. They actually gave us a blueprint for a new way forward, a vision for how we can all actually thrive in this new era.
And this is the heart of that vision. The whole idea is to build a system where learning is fair and accessible for everyone. This isn't about creating just a handful of superstars who get all the best training. It's about giving every single person the chance to keep learning, to keep growing, no matter where they are in their career. But, and this is a big but, there is a massive obstacle we have to get over first. And it's a really deep problem in how we've always thought about education. The forum calls it the chasm. And it's that huge, deep gap between the education we get when we're young and the continuous learning we need throughout our entire adult lives. Right now, that gap is so big that people's careers are literally falling right through the cracks. So here's the bottom line. Our economies just can't survive this. Our current system is way too rigid, it's too slow, it treats learning like a one-time event. And because of that, it's not giving people the tools they need to keep up. And that's a huge problem for every single one of us. So how do we build a bridge over that chasm? Well, the forum laid out a really practical toolkit, a set of systems and ideas to help us create a real working system for lifelong learning. Okay, let's break down these 4 pillars of the new learning system. We're going to talk about things called micro-credentials, the surprising resilience of craftsmanship, how AI is basically a superpower for entrepreneurs, and why moving around and getting new experiences is so crucial. All right, first up, micro-credentials. You can think of these as small, focused bursts of learning that give you a very specific certified skill. They're a total game changer because they're fast, they're flexible, and they can be created really quickly to meet new demands. So let's say you're a marketer and you see a huge need for AI analytics. Instead of going back for a 2-year degree, you could get a 3-month micro-credential and start applying those skills immediately. That's the power here. Now this next one might surprise you. Turns out, craftsmanship is in an amazing position to not just survive, but actually thrive in the age of AI. And why is that? Because it's all about creativity, innovation, and skill, things that are uniquely human. Think of a master woodworker using an AI tool to brainstorm and prototype a complex new chair design in minutes. It's that beautiful blend of timeless human skill and brand new technology that makes it so resilient. And for anyone who's ever dreamed of starting a business, this slide is everything. AI is truly a godsend for startups. It's crushing costs, it's making prototyping insanely fast, and it's automating all the boring stuff. This frees up founders to do what they're actually supposed to do, focus on their core product and connect with customers. It's leveling the playing field for anyone with a great idea.
So let's zoom out for a second, because this agile, super innovative mindset we're talking about, it's not just for building the next hot app. That exact same energy is absolutely critical for tackling the two biggest challenges on the entire planet.
Experts call this the twin transition. It's the fact that we're moving towards a greener, more sustainable world and a more digital world at the exact same time. And the most important thing to get is that these two things aren't separate. They are completely intertwined, two sides of the very same coin.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The shift to a green economy isn't something that's only for people working in solar power. It's a fundamental shift for everyone. It means that whether you're an accountant, a construction worker, or a coder, sustainability is now a core part of your job description.
So, where does that leave us? The world is changing faster than ever before. The old model of learn one thing and then work for 40 years, that's just over. It's done. We all have to become lifelong learners, building our own toolkit with things like micro-credentials and just being ready to adapt. The AI tsunami is here. And really, the only question left is, are you ready to ride the wave?
Okay, no, era acceso. So this is like yesterday, an example of application of artificial intelligence to the work that we have done, and probably is not completely overlapping everything that we discussed, but I think is a good quality to help all of us to understand in which direction we are moving, at least for the result that you get in few seconds. This got like 3-4 minutes to be produced. So thank you very much, Filippo. Now we can move on. I return the microphone to Valentina.
Yes, thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Filippo. We're coming to the end of the conference, of the second day of the conference. I remind all of you that in the afternoon we will have a visit to the simulation lab of Liverpool Hope University. Please find us around to let us know if you're coming or not. For logistics reasons, we need to know that. And now we have just spoken. I mean, with these slides, were about creativity, crafts, and so on. So this leads me, if I can have 5 more minutes of your attention, to this Horizon project that the Skillman Secretariat is involved. This year we have launched a competition within the Horizon project. The competition is called Video Contest. The project that I'm talking about, it's called Tracks for Crafts, and it delves into the transmission of traditional crafts knowledge, and it aligns them with a future-oriented heritage approach in Europe. As we mentioned now, creativity, crafts are also parts of the principles of the Skillman network. So the competition. Here I am. We talk about technology and see what happens. So this video contest competition was launched in June. We have received many videos. So the competition was about receiving videos about crafts, creativity from all over Europe, from art crafts people and so on. And we have a winner. So we have someone who has provided the best video and has personally the most stylish moustache I've seen in this conference. So I invite here Tuan Bowmans from Van Howard. Join me here on stage because he is the winner of the video contest of the Tracks for Crafts project. Okay. Let's see if it works now. So this is the certificate of appreciation for Tuan Bomans from Van Howard. And this is for you. Thank you very much for participating and congratulations on your win of the video contest for the Trucks for Crafts project. A big applause for him. As the last part of this session, I would like to show you his video because we're giving him the recognition of this. He made such an effort. He paid such an effort to make this video, and yeah, congratulations again. Now we're launching the video. Shall I launch it from here? Yes. Okay. And then after this, we can go on a lunch break. As you see, we have some snacks over there. And again, come and find us to let us know if you're coming for the afternoon visit to the simulation lab of the Liverpool Hope University. And yes, thank you very much for everything.
I have to take another picture, please.
Yes, I will take another picture with.
Yeah. Go there.
Okay, thank you.
Just a moment for a picture. Sì. Okay.
Thank you.
Company, and I'm talking about finance. I'm the founder, designer, and craftsman. Started off as a hobby when I moved into my first apartment. It was a way to express my creativity and to equip my place in a sustainable way. Sustainability has been important to me for a very long time. That is why I pursued a master's degree in sustainable energy. However, I ended up working as an engineer in the high-tech industry. Unfortunately, the pressure at work coupled with the lack of creativity led me into a burn. During my recovery, I changed my way of living. And this is also when I decided to turn my hobby into my job. And I'm very glad I did, because I really love what I do. Sustainability is visible in many aspects in the company. The most obvious sign is the raw materials I use. I mainly work with wood sourced as locally as possible. For example, all the wood you see over here comes from oak trees grown about 5 minutes from here in Eindhoven. I also use reclaimed wood from construction sites as well as leftover hardwood from other wood industries. What also contributes to making my furniture sustainable is its design. It's a blend of minimalistic and industrial style made to be timeless and lasting for generations. Therefore, it reduces the need for replacement and further reduces the impact on the environment. The woodworking industry is often seen as environmentally friendly because wood is a natural material. But in reality, most furniture sold is mass-produced and made from wood that travel all around the world. For me, true craftsmanship takes time. Trees take decades or even centuries to grow. And that is why I use traditional techniques like Japanese joinery, which do not require screws, to respect the beauty of this wonderful material. To further honor the wood I work with, I work on a limited amount of projects, not to rush the crafting process. And this allows me to create furniture of high quality, where care and attention for detail are not sacrificed for speed. The demand for local handcrafted products is increasing because people start appreciating it. When I think about the future of craftsmanship, I see it as a blend between tradition and innovation. In my work, it translates with the use of traditional craft techniques combined with more modern tools. I personally don't own a fully automated CNC machine because I prefer the use of old joinery techniques with hand tools. But it doesn't mean that I'm against new technology. I recently added a laser cutter engraver to my tool set to personalize creations and to create templates for routing precise details. In the end, tools are tools. They are there to support your craft and not to replace it. And what truly matters is the authenticity, ethics, and quality that you pour into your creations. Over the years, I have learned the importance of taking care of myself and doing what I really love. When you love what you do, it is visible in the quality of your work. For me, furniture making is a way to express myself, part my personality into what I create. I believe that little imperfections are giving furniture its character and soul. By realizing that, woodworking has taught me to accept myself with my qualities and imperfections. It's this same authenticity and care that I want to be reflected in both my company as well as the furniture. This is also what I try to pass on to people.
This just to say thanks so much to everyone connected from home, and thanks so much for all participants staying here. Thanks so much to Alessandro, our expert technology here that ensured the possibility to stream these 2 days to the large part of the network members. Thanks so much to Urs and Craig, especially Urs for his personal efforts to build up everything. And I think that finally the positive remarks arrived are many for you because of the incredible result that we had with the speakers selection, and Craig support, of course, and Alexa, thank you very much. And so, thank you, Filippo, thank you to all. Valentina, you are great. So we are very proud to have all you members and not members, but of course partners supporting the Skillman Network community. Thanks so much and see you online at the next Skillman occasion. Bye bye.